How to generate leads for data center clients, regardless of whether they're colocation or wholesale data center clients. In this short video, I want to introduce you to how I approach the go-to-market strategy for generating leads in the data center space. It first starts by understanding exactly who the stakeholders are that you're trying to reach, what kind of company they're from, what kind of roles they're in, and building out buyer personas. So you not only understand their demographics, but their behaviors, their motivations, their goals, their plans, their challenges. What's keeping them up at 2 o'clock in the morning? What if they get right, we'll get them a big promotion. What if they mess up, we'll get them the opposite of a promotion. Once you have consensus on that, it's a lot easier to develop a strategy that attracts, engages, and delights those kinds of stakeholders. And that will help to drive your segmentation as well, figuring out who the most important kind of economic stakeholders are, who's going to be on the decision by committee that you need to be able to influence. But start with the individuals and then fold that together into a ideal client profile, an ICP, so you understand at a company level who the company is that you're trying to attract. So once you have those two items together, you'll be in a much better position to think about what it's going to take to attract the right strangers in the right places at the right time, and most of all in the right context, so you and your team are seen as the go-to experts in the data center space and not just another data center vendor. We want to get you out of the vendor box as rapidly as possible so you're seen in a differentiated way, so you're not seen as a commoditized provider of storage and space and hosting and power and all that stuff that people will use against you as leverage. We want to make sure that you have good leverage in the sales process by being seen as a trusted advisor, an educator, and a subject matter expert. In that kind of context, the marketing and sales development team, sales team, customer success team, product team should be working together to make sure that there's great, helpful educational content on your blog, good podcasting kind of content, that you're talking about the right kinds of topics, that you're growing your reach and social in the right way. So now we've taken the right kind of strangers, and we've attracted them into visitors, but so far they're just anonymous leads that are circling around our content, circling around our website. What can we do to get more of those anonymous visitors to convert into leads? We need to give them a compelling reason to step out from anonymity and tell us who they are, to be able to convert more of those visitors into leads. And the way we typically do that is by premium content that's so good that people are willing to tell us a little bit about themselves, like exchange basic business card kind of information for what's on the other side of the landing page. So we need good downloadable content, we need good webinars, webinar recordings, similar kinds of things where we have forums, landing pages, thank you pages, a little bit of email workflow automation. More than likely there may be like some lead flow pop-up on your site. They're either in the middle or coming down from the top or the bottom. You may be using chatbots to do similar kinds of things, chat flows to be able to engage with that. But again, those are going to be able to take a lot of your anonymous visitors and convert them into known leads, so you can build a relationship with them over time and continue educating and building trust with them, which is especially important in the data center space where we know most people have a pretty long considered sales process. So anything that we can do to accelerate the sales cycle is generally a good thing, which brings us to our next step of how we're going to be able to convert leads into marketing qualified, sales accepted opportunities, and then a percentage of those into customers. And the way we'll typically do that is make sure we get really good about the segmentation and personalization. So once we know who they are, like their persona, and we understand where they are in their journey, whether they're at the awareness stage, consideration stage, decision stage, or in any one of the more common life cycle stages that you'll see in a CRM, then we want to be able to send them helpful educational content by email nurturing, use some social nurturing, use some retargeting, and one of the most important playbooks, and that continues to be in the data center space, is webinars. And there's a lot of different ways that you can approach webinars. But at the end of the day, it's about inviting people where you're looking at your CRM, you're like, wow, we're generating some really good leads, but why don't they want to talk to our sales team? Okay, well, we need to figure out a way to give them a compelling reason to want to interact with us. And one of the most effective ways to do that is to invite people to webinars, to continue to educate, build trust, inspire them. And many people, when they start to learn a little bit more about who you are and what you do, a lot of them will engage with your polls and surveys, and it'll become a much more natural of like, oh yeah, okay, now I get what you guys do. Okay, yeah, we definitely should talk at some point. So will help you definitely with the sales cycle acceleration. And in any kind of business that's based on retention and expansion revenue, of course, the deal is kind of sort of done when it gets to close one, but not really. We need to make sure we have a fantastic onboarding process, and we do an awesome job with delighting our clients. So there's no retention risk, and that they stick around, they recommend, great reviews, all that stuff is all super important. So on the customer success side, being able to deploy surveys, being able to have great onboarding, having great customer success teams in place, being able to keep track of NPS and other kinds of indicators that tell us whether we're doing a great job and doing what they signed up for, giving them their first value, initial value, intended value, all those typical things that usually define whether we have a healthy client relationship. So in this video, I've been giving you some food for thought to be thinking about with your go-to-market strategy for generating leads for data center clients, both on the colocation and on the wholesale side. I'd love to know what you do in your organization to be able to make lead generation work. Let me know in the comments below. Feel free to leave a question, any questions that you have as well. I'm also pretty accessible if you want to connect on a one-on-one basis on LinkedIn. You can look me up, send me a connection request, mention this video, and we can talk more about how we can help you grow your lead generation for your data center clients. Again, I'm Joshua Feinberg from sphomerun, and I wish you great success in scaling your revenue, scaling your growth for your data center business. Hey there, it's Joshua Feinberg from sphomerun, and we are so glad that you stopped by to watch this video today. If you got good value from its content, make sure that you hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and ring the bell so that you can be notified when new videos just like this become available. Hope you're having a great day, and we wish you great success.